We all have those things in our life that we just need to give up. Bad things that interrupt our lives and get in the way of the things that we want to reach. If your New Year's resolution was to get at least 8 hours of sleep, then it could be all that screen time before bed that is stopping you from sleeping on time. Your goal might be to be healthier, or it might be that nicotine habit that's been stopping you from achieving your goals. If you want to improve your productivity, motivation, and overall just achieve your goals, but you have no idea what you're doing wrong, then you're probably in the right place. You keep trying to concentrate, but you just don't have the effort, the time, or the energy to work towards your goals. I think you should start watching this video. Hello, my name is Mariam and I hope you're all having a productive day. Well, actually, you'll probably have a productive day after you watch this video. I've been reading a lot of books and doing a lot of research, and well, I've come to the conclusion that there are 5 huge habits that stop most of us from actually being the best version of ourselves. So I think we should get straight to it. Here are the 5 deadly habits that for me were definitely holding me back. If you like the sound of this video or you've watched some of my other videos, then please subscribe to my channel so we can make this journey for betterment, self-development and good habits all together. Do you ever say to yourself that I can't do this, or maybe I'm not good enough? Well, it could be that you are the victim of negative thinking. Studies show that how we view ourselves and speak to ourselves internally can affect our mental health significantly. Not only that, but studies actually show that a way to be a happy and more productive person is to self-reflect on our behaviors and the way that we think. I mean, if we have a positive mindset about ourselves, then this can affect the support system that we build in ourselves so that we can more confidently do things and work towards things that we want from our lives. And if you think about it, it's more of a productive way and a positive way to live our lives than if we have a negative thinking pattern. There's a book called Conquer Your Critical Inner Critic, and this book is by Dr. Robert Firestone, and he actually talks about how at times, most of the time, we can be our own worst enemies. You see, the inner critic is a voice inside our head that whispers at us, it whines at us, and it nags us. And this can actually affect your self-esteem and confidence more than other things in life. It edits our thoughts, our behaviors, and how we talk to ourselves directly impacts the actions that we take in the world. Actually, the thing is, if we turn our inner critic into an inner voice of self-love, then our outwardly actions can actually be so positive that we will work harder for the things that we want in life. So maybe it's time to get rid of that pouty face that you have and tell yourself that you can actually do this. The other thing is we have to surround ourselves with people that are good and positive around us. What good is it if we actually accumulate this amazing, great and positive mindset about ourselves, with ourselves, but the people around us are literally shit? We've all had people in our lives that are discouraging and just not good to be around. Everybody has somebody toxic in their life. If people around us aren't going to lift us up, this can affect the way that we see ourselves. I read this amazing article about why negative people around us are actually killing us. Ellie Kaplan talks about how even a small amount of negativity in our brain can lead us to have a weakened immune system, which we know can lead to lots of severe illnesses, even a heart attack or a stroke. This means that a negative mindset doesn't only affect how productive you are, but it also affects your health. And if you're in hospital just because you've had a heart attack, I don't think I can actually help you be more productive. You should probably be watching a different video. The thing is, if you've got friends who try to change you, constantly gossip about you, or just are really negative around you, you should probably change them, get rid of them. Because the only way to put yourself first and change those habits are by getting rid of toxic waste. I mean, you might be the kind of person that needs a lion, and if you don't, you feel groggy and demotivated for the rest of the day. If that's the case, then maybe you need to stop oversleeping. Scientific research shows that sleeping too much can actually have an adverse effect on our energy, which can cause us to feel more fatigued throughout the day. If you're anything like me, then this would cause hours and hours of lack of productivity and procrastination throughout the day. You know, thinking about it, I realized that when I would oversleep, I was actually just trying to distract myself from myself. There was like this pattern of negative thinking that I was just in a loop of, and me oversleeping was a reflection of a negative mindset. I think that our mental health is so important, and it definitely comes into play over here. I feel as if, and having researched about it, I definitely feel as if there are so many people that live at the consequence of a negative mindset, and obviously sleep really does affect that. A book that really helped me get over my daily struggle was The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And his key topic was about how our morning routine can set us up for success. He talks about how 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of planning, and 20 minutes of studying can set us up for the day. And actually having thought about it, the truth is we can never be part of the 5 a.m. club if we're not part of the 10 p.m. club. So next time you feel like you need that extra 15 minutes of snooze, maybe that's not the best thing, because there's no way that we're gonna wake up feeling better by the end of it. And do you know that scientifically women actually need more sleep? I just want to add that in there. We can train our bodies and our minds to wake up at any time if we set ourselves up with a routine. And although at the beginning, especially I know doing this myself, it's really, really tiring and you will feel exhausted for most of the day. But the thing is, if you are consistent with it and you force yourself, regardless of how groggy you feel, you will set yourself up for success. You have to remember that science says that anybody can be a morning person. So the thing is, many of us stop ourselves from doing things that we actually need to get done because we convince ourselves that it's just not the right time, or we just don't feel like it, or maybe that if we actually attempt it, it's not going to be as perfect as we want it to be. At the end of the day, we are all procrastinators, and there's lots of evidence which suggests that procrastination just piles up and it actually makes us more stressed. And if we're that stressed, it's obviously going to affect how productive we are. A study shows that procrastination is actually the fear of getting things wrong. One piece of advice is that it's actually harder to finish something if we don't actually start it. And this is part of the Zeitlich principle. A great tip to remember is that the only way that we won't finish something is if we don't start it in the first place. And this actually hits upon the Zeitlich principle, which says that, you know, even if we start something at a tiny amount, there's something in our mind which will just nag at us and make sure that we get it done. So any advice would be that if you want to finish something, just start it, even if there's a tiny amount that you start. I talk a lot about the Zeitlich principle and other tips and tricks to get rid of procrastination in one of my YouTube videos, which I'll also link at the end and in the description, so please check it out if you're interested. Well, the key takeaway from this point should be that it's always mind over matter, or mind over Mariam if you like that. The way that we feel about a task, we usually make bigger than the task ourselves. So maybe downplay the way that we feel about it and just get on with it. And finally, getting rid of those distractions. Concentrating can be difficult, especially if we have the habit of scrolling endlessly and checking our social media constantly, or if we're constantly grabbing some sort of snack because we don't want to do the work and we want to distract ourselves away from actually doing well. There are 1,000,001 things that can distract us when we're at our desk. I mean, the best way to minimize distraction is to actually take it away from us, meaning switching your phone off and keeping them at a distance, or grabbing all of your snacks prior to you actually working. Or, to be honest, if there's anything else that you feel is going to distract you, then take it away from you completely. One thing that actually distracts me when I'm studying are literally my actual thoughts. Like, I just go away with the wind. And one thing that I have found that helps me is this exercise that I do, is that I have a piece of paper or a board next to me, and I call it the brain dump board. And every time I have an idea about something, or I'm thinking about something that, you know, I know is going to distract me away from my work, I literally just write it down on this piece of paper. And what happens is by the end of my study session, I've accumulated this list of all of these extra bits and bobs that my mind has just been flowing around with. And I know psychologically that I can tend to all of these things afterwards, but whilst I'm studying, it just allows me to streamline my thoughts so that it is just about studying, because I know psychologically, you know, I can tend to all of those thoughts afterwards. There are 1,001 ways to decrease distractions in life, and I'm so keen to hear about what you guys might actually be doing to distract or keep yourself distracted, distract you away from the distractions maybe. I'd love to hear about them, so please comment on this video so I can find out what you guys are doing as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you found it helpful, and I hope that you're already implementing most of them, or if not, we'll at least try to. If you have any more tips that can help people with productivity or motivation, then please comment below. I'd love to hear about them, and I'm sure my audience would too. Please subscribe to this channel, and thank you again so much for watching. Let's not forget the main thing. Don't forget to drink your water.